We do have Suresh K. Goyal, who's the former ambassador, joining us on the show this evening. Thank you so much, Mr. Goyal, for taking time out and joining us this evening. Well,
good evening.
Good evening, and the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to this particular meeting is the timing, right? Because that is right there in the spotlight. It comes at a critical juncture. I'm wondering if you heard Aditya explaining why this is key in terms of the timing. What is the sense that you're getting in terms of the timing of this particular meeting then?
Yes, the timing is, of course, important. So many developments are taking place all over the world. And obviously, when discussions taking place regarding Ukraine, in terms of the situation in Middle East, in terms of the tariffs on India, it's all very, very important. And if you consider that Putin did not even visit the G20 meeting, it becomes even more important that Putin has decided to visit India at this time. I will like to get away a bit from the timing and look at it really from a more strategic and geopolitical perspective. Besides all the obvious issues, including S-400, including oil, including Ukraine, etc., I think there are two or three things which we need to keep in mind. One, I would say, is China factor. As part of Asian security architecture, Asian geopolitics, the growing relations between China and Russia. If you notice that even after the American threat to increase tariff on China, China continued to import the same amount of oil and energy from Russia, and the relationship between them has actually become stronger than before. And given the state of our relationship, we will consider this kind of a matrix with Putin. That is number one. Then Eurasia, Central Asia, Afghanistan, and yes, basically Central Asia, Afghanistan, another critical strategic area where there is an interest from both the powers that we are. USA, there is an interest in that area, China and India. For India, it is a connectivity issue, North-South corridor, and therefore discussions with Russian Federation are going to be very important. And one, not the last or not the least, but very, very important area is the Arctic connection, Arctic route. India is actually looking at the Arctic route basically for developing the connectivity with Middle East as well as to the north of the continent. And Russia and the USA at the moment, China has already taken the lead. Russia and the USA, they have a huge control over that Arctic route. So I'm quite certain that even though it is not mentioned, that in the strategic framework, Arctic, Eurasia, and China, without naming China, are going to be the key areas to be discussed, besides the bilateral issues in any case, yes.
Well, absolutely, and I'm very glad that you brought up that point, because that indeed is very important. And especially in the last few weeks, you've seen that stance change when it comes to US and China. You've seen that little bit of a friendlier stance, that little bit of commentary also soften when it comes to US President Donald Trump when he's talking about Beijing as well. But the other bit that I wanted to talk to you about is, of course, energy security. That is also on the table. Will India be securing long-term oil supplies? And new bilateral agreements with Russia is also something that I wanted to get your sense of, because you're still talking about its largest crude supplier at this point in time.
I mean, and you would also have noticed that I didn't say anything at all about this, because this is an area where there are so many going to be pushes and pulls really. And the decision makers in India, and I think in this case, both the External Affairs Minister and the Prime Minister are going to take a very personal interest and a role in this whole issue, because any increase or any commitment to buy more oil from Russia will either require very innovative systems to distance the supply chains from Russia, or to risk the USA increase of tariff. Now, knowing USA at the moment that and Trump, whether he will treat India in the same manner as China and look the other way is very, very doubtful. I think Trump is going to, in fact, increase the pressure on India if we are not sensitive to his own personal interests and personal angles. Therefore, I don't know, and that's a reason we need to watch it very carefully.
Well, absolutely, and the entire world
Yes.
is going to be watching by when it comes to this particular meeting, right? And Mr. Goel, I
Yes.
seem to think that you have a sense of what I'm going to ask you next, because it's, of course, defense cooperation that is also in focus.
Yes.
And, you know, in terms of fresh deals or faster delivery of remaining S-400 air defense systems, what is it that you're expecting when it comes to the defense part of this puzzle?
You would also notice that both the EAM and the NSA have had several meetings with their Russian counterparts.
Yeah.
Obviously, the S-400 was the area of interest. Russia, my sense is, it's again just an instinct, and therefore there is nothing definite which has come my way really to say why I'm saying it. But most likely, Russia is going to really be more receptive to speeding the delivery of the pending S-400 units, provided they find that it is in their interest also. Now, when I say it is in their interest, the issues really would be their oil, their energy supplies, their strategic role in Eurasia, how we play upon that, and most importantly, I think the the payment systems which will come into play, but there is more in the case of oil really. But I think how we link it up with the other areas of interest to the Russian Federation will be of key importance in this case.
And thank you so much, Mr. Goel, for taking time out and joining us. You know, and is there anything else that you were saying? Sorry, I interrupted.
No,
Okay.
I was just saying that in the case of relationship between India and Russia, it is very, very difficult to be definitive and say that this is going to go this way or the other way. We have to really play it as developments take place from day to day. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And you know,
Yes.
when it comes to geopolitics, there's not much that you can guess. There's not a crystal ball that we have, but those are four factors
Yes.
that Mr. Goel has highlighted for you: the China factor, Eurasia, as well as energy and defense, and what to expect on all of these. Thank you so much, Mr. Goel, for taking time out and joining us.
Please don't forget Arctic. Arctic, yes.
Well, absolutely. And Arctic is the fifth one, like Mr. Goel has pointed out. So those are the 5 factors to keep in mind when it comes to this very crucial meeting coming at a very crucial juncture.